Okay, welcome to part three of the lecture for chapter one on the ancient debate. So we had left off with communism. So, the easiest way to summarize communism is from each according to their ability, to each according to their need. So the idea is you'd give as much as you could into the system and you'd receive as much as you needed out of the system. And the system ended up being the government, and that's why communism ended up being a very government-heavy system. So government owned all agriculture, all housing, all jobs, and then doled out those things to the population. So the upside was no homelessness and usually no starvation. The downside was a lower standard of living on average than in capitalist countries. Now, the thing is that communism did have some advantages, where certainly capitalism had some advantages. So a system was developed to try to blend the two and take the best of both. The equality of the communist or socialist system and the productivity of the capitalist system, and blend them together in the system called democratic socialism. Bernie Sanders, that's actually what he's arguing for, is this blend, not actual socialism, democratic socialism. So there still is one downside to this system. For the most part, it did produce it was almost as productive as capitalism, and almost as equal, or the bottom was higher than capitalism, more equal. But the one downside is high taxes. It's something of a welfare state. So when I say high taxes, I'm talking about around 50% tax. Now that's to compare with 25 to about 37% tax. 39% is the highest tax bracket in the American system. So these are high taxes. It's not a tremendous amount higher than what Americans pay. Most Americans, especially young Americans, don't realize how much tax they actually pay. But anyway, it is a higher tax system. So most of Western Europe, especially in Scandinavia, meaning Denmark, Norway, Sweden, Finland, they have this kind of system of high tax and high benefits. So free college, free medical care, you pay for it in your tax of about 50%. This is kind of seen to be kind of on the far left, but not all the way on the far left. The kind of mainstream left, regular Democrat, conservative, moderate Democrat would be usually a reform liberal. So they believe the system basically works. You need to reform it on the edges, increase access to the system to try to make it more fair. Economically, we're looking at the ideas of John Maynard Keynes. So the New Deal, which was a large spending program in the Great Depression in the 30s, the idea was that there is a role for government. Unlike what libertarians would say, there is a role for government in the economy, and that role is larger than what conservatives would say. And so they created programs that they would call, critics would call, Make Work. So the New Deal has been critiqued as a Make Work program. This was under President Franklin Roosevelt. It's pretty much what you're seeing in the presidential debates right now of the more conservative Democrats, people like Pete Buttigieg, Amy Klobuchar, and and maybe Kamala Harris, whereas Elizabeth Warren is a little bit more to the left, and Bernie Sanders is quite a bit more to the left, more liberal. He's kind of a centrist Democrat. Now, far on what is considered to be the right is fascism. And today, if you want to insult somebody, call them a fascist. It's a system that's pretty much discredited, and most people around the world are against it. Although it's starting to see a rise, or something similar is starting to rise in certain countries. You might see the Philippines, Turkey certainly has had this. But it started and kind of refined, if you could use the word, in Italy in the 1930s. And the fascist dictator of Italy at the time was Benito Mussolini. Now, it was famously said of him that Mussolini made the trains run on time, because it used to be that in Italy the trains were notoriously off schedule. They would usually be late, but sometimes, just to be inconsistent, they'd be 1 or 2 hours early. So nobody could really make a schedule for travel in Italy because they had no idea when the train was coming. Whereas Mussolini made a system where the conductors were kind of under threat of death to keep the trains on schedule. So you could call that an upside of fascism, but most people agree at this point that that upside is not worth the downside. The downside is it's anti-democratic. It's a system that is repressive to the core. And when Mussolini was finally overthrown and killed, they paraded his body parts in the street because he was so hated. So most people don't think this is a good system anymore. But there was a time when, in Italy in particular, they actually thought fascism was a good system. The word itself refers to the strength of a government without dissent. That the fascist, the dictator, is like a wooden pole, or actually they use the metaphor of an axe handle in the middle, and the people surround that handle with that wooden pole, and it protects the dictator. So the dictator is never broken. The people bear the brunt of that. And so it seems pretty brutal, but it keeps the system intact, the core of the system, the center of it intact. And so that's the theory behind fascism. Most people would say it was a failed experiment, and it's extremely unpopular, and it's certainly unpopular to say that it's a fascism. It's put into very good. Now, those are all the systems. There are some other variations of different systems, but that's what we're going to cover for now. Just to wrap up this kind of chapter, what is politics? Politics is everywhere, it's ubiquitous, it's everywhere in the system. That's because power is everywhere. This here is the French philosopher named Michel Foucault. And Foucault is the most famous theorist of power in the modern society. And he said power is a field of force relations, and that power circulates within this field. So that means power is everywhere. Power, by definition, is the ability to get someone to do something they otherwise wouldn't. And so he has ideas, people have ideas on biopolitics, that politics actually comes down with your physical body. He figured these ideas out by studying things like abnormality. The idea of what is normal and abnormal is actually a form of politics, in the sense that there's somebody who gets to say this is normal and this is abnormal, and that person gets to say that is actually the one with power. Whereas people usually think on a lower level that power is just relations between normal and abnormal, but actually at a higher level there are people deciding these things. So he studied things like criminal behavior, mental illness, and sickness to say that over time, what's considered normal or abnormal has changed over time. I mean, somebody gets to say what's normal or abnormal, and that's the person with the power. And these changes are done through what he called discourse, that is, the conversation. So some of you might study psychology and might say that there are these disorders. Things like shyness is now considered a disorder, or the winter blues is now called seasonal affective disorder, or SAD, SAD. And Foucault would say whoever wrote that manual and labeled that SAD as now a disorder, that's the person with the power. And so all of this is preliminary to what we're going to study, all the different forms of power. But first we have to understand what we're talking about. In this last slide, I think I already talked about in the very beginning of the lecture, what is political science? It's not a science, not really. There is some part of it that uses a lot of numbers and a lot of crunching of data. But for the most part, it's more analytical, so just read things and make inferences from that. Whether it's the historical record, whether it's economics or philosophy, those are kind of the constituent fields that political science is kind of made of. Political science is an applied field in that you have to know those things underneath to be able to do political science. Political science, in short, is the study of power in all its forms. And because power is everywhere, you could study everything. Like my friend here, who's a professor of political science at Western Washington, he wrote about kung fu and reggae and rap music and things like this, hip hop culture, because there's politics in that. It's not only government and these more formal things. Okay, so that's it for part 3. And I probably won't be doing these lectures in 3 parts every week, but I thought the first one was going to lay a strong foundation. And so there's a couple of other videos I'd like you to watch that I showed in the in-person class, and I'll attach those when it goes out on email. Okay, so other than that, I'll see you guys next time.